If you were picking up British comics in 1982, there's probably one image you just can't forget. Introducing Doomlord. Hi everyone and welcome to Still Only 35 Cents, your regular dose of vintage comics and collectibles. For this one, we are exploring the terrifying world of Doomlord, a creation that sent chills into the hearts and minds of many adults and children alike back in the 1980s. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the notification bell for future videos just like this one. We're just shy of our 4,000 subscriber milestone, and to celebrate I'll be giving away this 9.4 CGC graded copy of Fantastic Four issue 209, featuring the first appearance of Herbie the Robot. Back in 1982, the now iconic UK sci-fi horror character Doomlord first stepped onto the page as the lead story of the relaunched Eagle comic, and immediately sent shivers down the spines of readers with his terrifying design. Barry Tomlinson, IPC magazine's then group editor, had recently persuaded the UK publisher's management to allow him to revive the classic UK boys' adventure comic Eagle. Based on the success of UK girls comics like Jackie, Tomlinson opted to use fumetti-style photo strips featuring special effects and exaggerated poses throughout instead of traditional drawings, in the hope that they could emulate that success, as well as cut costs. Doomlord, the lead story, was created by legendary UK writers Alan Grant and John Wagner, both of whom had famously created Judge Dredd and his universe, so it was clear right from the start that Doomlord wasn't going to be your average alien villain. Together, they developed a backstory and philosophy for Doomlord that was truly dark and sinister. A cosmic executioner applying an incredibly cold utilitarian logic. Introduced as the servant of Nox, master of life and bringer of death, Doomlord's task was to judge humanity as Noxians believed humans were wrecking the environment and obsessed with nuclear war. Doomlord proved popular with readers, and after the initial strip ended in June 1982, two sequels quickly followed. Sadly though, the fumetti-style photo strips were not a popular format and turned out to be less cost-effective and slow to produce, and thus Eagle reverted to the traditional drawn format in September 1983 for the remainder of the Doomlord run, until just prior to the book's cancellation in 1989. Story-wise, the photo strip was presented in three distinct story arcs: Doomlord, Doomlord II, and Doomlord III. The original darker chapter featured the dreaded Doomlord Zin, an alien servant of Nox, a self-appointed judge of humanity, arriving on Earth with plans to destroy humanity if deemed unfit. The story starts with journalist Howard Harvey and his friend Bob Merton witnessing a meteor crashing to the ground, but it's actually a spaceship carrying Doomlord. Whilst Howard escapes, Doomlord kills Bob and uses his powers to absorb his memory and likeness to move freely on Earth. As he goes about his mission, he kills and impersonates key military personnel and scientists in order to infiltrate the establishment, which leads to his judgment that humanity must be destroyed. Howard uncovers Doomlord's deadly mission and tries to stop him, but can't convince others of the threat. Howard finally catches up with Zin, but the alien Doomlord takes control of him, revealing his plan to deliver a death sentence on humanity by releasing a deadly virus. Howard manages to break free of the control and stabs Doomlord whilst in his human form. But in one last evil twist, the alien passes his life force to Howard to execute his plan. Recognizing this, Howard ultimately sacrifices himself and Doomlord within by releasing the virus in a sealed lab, declaring humanity's right to decide its own fate. Bleak stuff. Doomlord 2 would return a few months later and introduces us to a brand new Doomlord, Vec, a novice servitor sent to investigate Zin's disappearance and judge humanity. This time around, Doomlord is presented as more of an anti-hero and sees Doomlord once again take human form, but this time, for the most part, he maintains the alter ego of Eric Plumrose, a commercial traveller. Posing as Plumrose, Vec lodges in Bradford, keeping his hosts hypnotised to maintain his true form. He determines Zin's fate and concludes humanity's problems are social, blaming the world's leaders while excusing the apathetic majority. The Dread Council gives him 1 year to improve humanity. Vec attempts to influence human affairs, funneling wealthy donations to Alternative Earth, an eco-movement, and increases public political activity. As time runs out, he manipulates the American military into launching a nuclear strike. Russia safely destroys it, shocking superpowers into total nuclear disarmament. The Council lifts humanity's death sentence, but Vec's ship is destroyed, leaving him stranded on Earth. In Doomlord 3, despite Vec's efforts, humanity's improvements prove only temporary, and a nuclear missile launch by an Arab state escalates the conflict. This leads to global rearmament and embezzlement of Alternative Earth's funds. Vec realises human nature is a significant factor, but the Dread Council, losing faith, orders Vec to execute humanity. Due to his developed fondness of humans, Vec disobeys, revealing his existence to the world, and attempts to manipulate humanity by highlighting the sentence of death hanging over it if it does not reform. Doomlord grants audiences with world leaders to try and convince them, whilst avoiding numerous assassination attempts, but grows impatient and demonstrates his power by creating a targeted virus that destroys the small town of Prattlewell. Seeing this risk, Vec is eventually captured by the world leaders, tranquilized, imprisoned underground, and starved of UV light. Perishing, his corpse is paraded as a trophy, but Doomlord manages to transfer his life force to a scientist and, losing patience with humanity, decides to carry out the death sentence. Meanwhile, the dreaded Council sends another Doomlord, Zom, to Earth to kill Vec and carry out the death sentence on humanity. While Zom prepares a fatal global virus, humanity once again abandons nuclear weapons. Seeing this, Vec disobeys the Council, kills Zom to save humanity, and at the end of the story openly declares himself Earth's protector. One of my favourite aspects of the second and third arc is the wonderfully surreal British touch which sees Doomlord renting mundane lodgings from a housewife, Mrs. Schuster, and her two young boys. It's weird to think of an alien cosmic judge assessing the fate of humanity from a boarding house in Bradford. Ultimately, though, it's the Schuster's kind nature that guides Zinn's decision to spare the human race and ultimately become its protector. As Doomlord was a photo strip, the comic regularly featured a cast of actors, and many of the actors featured were hired from the Ugly Agency, a modelling agency that specialised in people with interesting character faces, not your standard models. So the face of this terrifying alien judge's many alter egos came from an agency literally called Ugly. The series' most memorable cast members were Mike Mungarvan, who played Howard Harvey, the journalist who discovers Doomlord's terrifying plan and ultimately becomes Doomlord's nemesis throughout the first arc. Mike White played Doomlord himself, as well as his alter ego Eric Plumrose in the second and third story arcs. It wasn't just limited to actors too. There were also cameos from the IPC magazine staff too. Most notably, IPC group editor Barry Tomlinson, Star-Lord editor Kelvin Gosnell, and 2000 AD art editor Doug Church, featuring on the cover of issue 2, with Doomlord towering over them. The story behind Doomlord's look is also quite fascinating, especially his now iconic mask. For years, many people thought it was produced by Don Post, the godfather of Halloween masks, but after some clever internet sleuthing, it was finally revealed that the mask was called Dance Macabre and created by French company César. The origin behind finding the mask is a little hazy, with John Wagner recalling going to the West End with editor David Hunt to buy it, although designer Sue Moore similarly remembers purchasing it somewhere near Seven Dials on behalf of the publisher. Whatever the truth, Doomlord's mask was just a cheap, generic mask found in a costume store. These masks are certainly not easy to find today. I myself spent over 5 years searching eBay and online marketplaces before I was able to finally obtain my copy of an original. The rest of the costume was equally ad hoc. For instance, the gold padded neck collar seems to have come from the set of TV series Space 1999, in particular an episode called Devil's Planet, whilst Doomlord's robes were likely from the 1978 film The Thief of Baghdad, as worn by Peter Ustinov as the Caliph. To this day, the origin of one aspect of the costume remains a mystery though. Doomlord's now legendary death ray ring. It's probably a good thing though, as I'm sure no one wants to be disintegrated. Unfortunately, these photo strips have yet to be reprinted, and it's unsure who owns the rights. So today, the only way to find these stories is to hunt down back issues of the original Eagle Comics relaunch. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this nostalgic look back at one of my favourite comic book characters, Doomlord, a uniquely terrifying and little known British monster. Did you read Doomlord back in the day? Or for those of you new to Doomlord, what did you think about this character? I'd love to hear your comments down below. And with that, thanks as always for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all next issue. Don't forget to check out other great videos, as well as follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X. We also host a weekly live stream, the Merry Monday Mail Call Show, every Monday morning at 7:30 AM Australian Eastern Time. Enough said.
I am Doomlord, servant of Nox, master of life, bringer of death. You are unworthy of life. Ha ha!